Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. Wednesday nights, it's live here at 9 o'clock every Wednesday, and we bring you the very best of rugby in Cape Town. Nice to have you along. Hope you've had a fantastic break today. But now it is time to take a look at the world of rugby. We take a look at Super 15 tonight. We'll take a look at what's happening at Western Province Rugby Institute. The Western Province Rugby Union has been busy with medical courses. And of course, we'll, at the end of the show, look at our Super Brew predictions. Who went up, who went down, and who went down like a homesick mole. We'll elaborate on that a little bit later. Big competition tonight. You can win for yourself a 42-inch plasma screen, just like we had on the show 4 weeks ago. Tonight, again, all you need to do is tell me who is the official IT supplier to Western Province Rugby, and you could win yourself a 42-inch plasma screen. Exactly the same as we've got behind me here. All right, there, courtesy of Mesa, as you can see them, a Mesa plasma screen, 42-inch flat. All you need to do is SMS your answer to 32010. We'll get to that competition a little bit later. My esteemed panel this evening, Mr. Herman Abrams, Deputy CEO of Western Province Rugby. Hello, Mr. H.
Good evening, JP.
Hoe lyk dinge?
Nee, baie goed, baie goed. Ons
Goeie
het
week?
baie goeie week gehad tot dusver.
Besige week, nee.
Baie besig, ja.
Ongelooflik. Jerome Paarwater, Head of Talent Identification. Is that the right title?
It's the right title, JP.
That's the right title. Hoe lyk dinge?
Baie goed, JP. Lekker om terug te wees weer.
Ja, ja.
Verlede
Morgs?
week.
How's it, James?
Good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah? How's the rugby going?
Yeah, very well, very well. Marty's are training hard. Looking
Right.
forward to the start of the league.
Marty's training hard. Is that your club?
That's my club for now.
You've made your decision?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's a tough decision, but I think I've got to stay with my beloved.
Yeah, you've been playing there for a while now, eh?
Yeah, I mean, look, I started there, 6-7 years ago now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been good to me, and I think that's where my heart is. I think.
All right. Well, listen, you're not going to get any special privileges on this show. All right. So sorry about that. We are on Facebook, folks. www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And you can send us any of your questions. Also on Twitter, follow us on @Cape Rugby TV. But we're not going to beat the social media thing to death. If you are on it, join us, ask a couple of questions. And of course, we'll also be taking a look at some of the events and friendlies coming up from the clubs, those who bothered to put it in. Nice to be with so many of the clubs at the media and PR seminar that we hold monthly now, courtesy of the union, and so many of the clubs participating. They've all got websites, they've all got Facebook pages, they've got Twitter handles, and this year you are going to be seeing on a Saturday afternoon the biggest back channel trend in South Africa, when all of the clubs are tweeting scores and results from the club rugby games. We'll tell you more about that as we get closer to the season. Now it is time for us to take a look at the Super 15 results. It was a big weekend. Let's take a look at some of those scores. And there you see it. The Rebels going down to the Cheetahs, 33-26. The Sharks beating the Reds, 27-22. The Waratahs, 1 point lost for them against the Force Hurricanes, just losing to the Highlanders, 19-17. The Stormers, a 10-point victory over the Blues. And the Chiefs, a 29-22 win over the Brumbies. Of course, that last match was played on Friday. Well, there you go, folks. Those are the results. Morgs? The Rebels over the Cheetahs. Did you choose the Cheetahs? I can't remember the predictions last week.
Yes, I think I actually did choose the Cheetahs for a
That
change.
was a good one.
For a
That was a
change.
good one, yeah.
I think that's the only one I got right for the weekend.
I honestly didn't expect the Cheetahs to maintain their momentum as they did. I mean, I've always thought the Cheetahs go overseas, they win their first game, and then after that the wheels come off. And they did that in the previous week. They managed to show what they can do on the travels. They beat the Rebels, but the Rebels are a better team than they showed over the weekend, Jerome.
Yeah, that was actually, JP, the past weekend, that was the best rugby that I've seen so far in the Super Rugby. The Cheetahs, I mean, it was a fight right to the end, and the Cheetahs are known for they never give up, so that was good. And if you look at ball in play, they also had the most ball in play, which was 39 minutes for the weekend, which is good because most of the teams are on 28 minutes, 29 minutes. So yeah, that was actually a great game of rugby this weekend.
Have you got any idea from a club rugby point of view, how long do we have ball in play for? And maybe just give us a definition. What does ball in play mean? Ball in play, JP, is you take it from the start to the end of the game, and that's without stoppages, how long they actually play. And it's funny, JP, I mean, some teams train for 2 hours, and you actually play 25 minutes, 28 minutes in a game. Yes, I remember Peter de Villiers once saying that he will work on scrummage, but you will actually only scrum for 8 minutes in the entire game, if that.
If that's long.
That's long.
But if you look at now, with the way the game is going to now, which is actually with the new law, how they want the game to be played more faster and quicker, it's actually slower. If you look at ball in play, which is, you would say, I think a good result for ball in play is 45 minutes.
It seems to me that one of the reasons why it's slower is because the refs are more and more trying to find consistency. And so they're blowing on everything. I mean, we're seeing more penalties, more scrums being reset. They're not just giving the penalty or the free kick straight away. They're giving an opportunity for a reset, and we start again. I mean, surely they should get to the point of, yes, aim for consistency, but just get the ball back in play.
But I think, JP, from this weekend onwards, you'll see more ball in play, because the refs, everybody's now past the new law in how they play and how they want to ref the game.
They settle down a bit
they
now.
settle down now. Normally after 3 games, then things change, and then it's almost like you go back to the old things.
It was a 1-point win for the Waratahs, over at least for the Force over the Waratahs, Mr. H. Waratahs could have done better.
Yes. In fact, that was the one that I had wrong.
I think it was probably the only one you had wrong. I mean, we're going to get into this. I don't know how it is that you shot up into 5th place on the rankings, but you did, but we'll get into that later. But yes.
You're good, you know. I mean, no, but yeah, I think this, you know, they're just not playing the way we used to seeing them play.
Yeah, absolutely. We've always thought of, when you think of the Waratahs, you think of the Full Wars of the world and so forth. And of course, the Highlanders beating the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes seem to be getting themselves back into shape a little bit. The Stormers, what a great win for them, 27-17 over the Blues. The Blues came out, I mean, we were at Newlands on the side of the field, Mr. H. The Blues came out there, they looked fired up. When they came running back off the field into the tunnel, they came in a group. They didn't come one-on-one running. They were like really united and solidified. I think they were trying to protect Kevin Mialamu because they were worried about bottles. But of course, that doesn't happen down in the Cape. Although there were a lot of Blues supporters who I think were fairly embarrassed on the night, and you know they were screaming a little bit. I think they had a little bit too much to drink maybe before. Didn't have a lot of clarity in terms of the of the facts and things like that, but walked away with a tail between their legs, the Blues supporters who were at Newlands over the weekend. But a 10-point win for the Stormers, a good result.
Yeah, that was the biggest winning margin for the weekend.
Yes, and of course I had that spot on. As I said, the Stormers would win by 10 points, and they won by 10 points. And then the Chiefs against the Brumbies. Now this is one that I didn't expect. I expected the Brumbies to do better. Morgs?
No, Jay, to be honest, I've also got this one right. Actually.
You got that one right? In fact, you got one on the spot, huh?
Yeah, I did.
7 points.
I did get on the spot. But I mean, look, the Chiefs it's a good outfit, that Chiefs. I think they've got a deadly backline. I think the forwards give them a good platform to play from lately. I think that's sort of a result that I kind of expected.
Well, I see Eddie Jones is back with Jake White now, his old partner in crime. He's back at the Brumbies. Personally, I don't think the Brumbies are going to get it back together as quickly. There seems to be a life cycle in rugby. There was a while back, 4 years ago, where Brumbies were dominating. And as you have players falling out, you have youngsters coming in. It takes a while to get back up to that cycle again where you're at the top. And I mean, all teams go through that process. Jerome,
But it looks like, JP, that this year they're actually picking up again. So it's true what you say. So it looks like things are changing a bit more, and they start to play like a few years ago when Larkham and George Gregan were playing. So, and I think they're also still involved there now. So you could see things are starting to change slowly, because they're not like last year. They were really bad, but this year they really, I mean, could go anywhere. And I think this weekend, especially at Canberra, you don't win easily there. So
you talk about Gregan. I see Gregan's been elected into the Australian Rugby Council. Well, George Gregan on the Aussie Rugby Council. Anyway, so the big match over the weekend was, of course, the Stormers over the Blues. It was a 10-point win for them, and we managed to catch up with some of the guys after the game. They were thrilled. Let's see what they have to say. Great result.
It's a good win. You know, it's always good to see Newlands like this, happy and in good spirits. So I'm glad we could give that to them.
And your eye, okay?
Yeah, just it's it's my baby's christening on Sunday, so I'm sure there'll be some comments in the church on Sunday.
Congratulations, great win.
Thank you very much.
Done very well. Pretty happy with the win.
Big result?
Yeah, it is a very big result, and there are 2 more games before the tour, so I'm pretty happy with that.
How tough are the Blues?
Very tough. It's probably the toughest game I've played so far.
Baie lekker hard.
Ja, dat is een piks aangegeven daarvoor, hè?
Ja, het was lekker, hè? Is het goed gedaan? Ja, jongens, ja, het is net ons kant toe gegaan vanavond.
Was het nou tough?
Ja, New Zealand, de spannen is altijd tough, so ja, ze het verwacht en ik denk dat ze het goed gedaan.
Ga je nou vis vangen?
Nee, absoluut niet. Ja, ik ga nou net relax. Ja, niks doen. Nee, vis vangen is niet deel van mijn almer.
JP, I'm absolutely lost for words, eh? Just the guys been really helpful out there on the field, which made it easier for me. But really, again, as I said before, it's really an awesome experience to be out here with these guys. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
Ja, nee, baie lekker, baie bly om te wen en so.
Hoe geniet je van Nieuweland?
Nee, het is mooi so lekker.
En die
weer nog terug.
En die Blues?
Nee, het was 'n harde game geweest. Ons weet hulle gaan alles bring met hulle het.
Ja, nee, yes, so daar aan die einde dat 'n bietjie teruggekom. Maar ze hebben deurgetrek, so ja.
En het is een groot span om te spelen naar die Blues, hè?
Ja, ik denk dat is van ons moeilijkste tegenstander. So,
ja.
Maar ik heb baie uitgesien om bietjie teen Allen Williams te speel.
That was certainly fantastic to chat with the boys. They were in the greatest of spirits. Nice to always catch up with the players and just hear what they have to say after the game there. Always difficult to talk to them. They're busy getting their drinks and their recoveries, and it is pretty tough. Although I must say, Mao Nono wasn't so happy when we wanted to speak to him after the game. And quite frankly, rather rude, which is not really appreciated. When the Crusaders were down here, they were a different story. Sonny Bill Williams was happy to talk to the cameras and the fans. Richie McCaw last year, he was injured, but he was still on the side of the field, happy to talk. Terribly disappointed in Mao Nono, who didn't make himself available for the cameras. Just remember, folks, if you're a captain or a coach, you need to make yourself available for the cameras because you are being paid by the sponsor, and the sponsor is on your jersey. Time for us to look at those conference logs. Let's take a look at who stands where. Well, yes, it is, of course, the Stormers on the top of the log there, and the Bulls followed by the Sharks, the Lions, and the Cheetahs. In the Australian Conference, it's the Reds, the Brumbies, the Waratahs, the Rebels, and the Force. And then the New Zealand Conference, the Highlanders firmly on the top, of the Chiefs, the Hurricanes, the Crusaders, lingering a little bit down at the bottom of that conference in 5. Or at least the Blues on 5 points there. So the Blues have a bit of climbing to do. It's too early to start talking about logs and leagues and so on, eh, Morgs?
Yeah, James, I think it's early on. Like, it's 4 or 5 games into the season. Some guys have played 4, some have played 5.
Yeah.
So it's still early days. I mean, it's a bit long competition. It's 15 teams, so guys are going to play 14 games before you can really, see who's where. But I mean, look, it's good rugby so far.
Jerome, bonus points important though at this time, eh?
Yeah, it's gonna start really to get. Yeah. Very important to get your points, and also I think what's important is to win your home games, which the Stormers are doing. Yeah. And 2 weeks time they're gonna tour, and so hopefully they can get if they take two wins overseas, then
because it's always. Good. I mean, Mr. H, you'll know, it's always, we get to the end of the season and the coach he'll mention that game 8 weeks back. He says, that's where we lost it. Yeah. We didn't get that bonus point.
Yes, and, it's important right now. We might say, it's a long time still. Yeah. But if you're now at number 15, makes it very tough for you to get.
It's not like a spot to be at.
No,
and the fans all start complaining now.
And stay away.
The media is on your case. I mean, I remember a few years ago, the Sharks weren't doing so well. They were at the bottom of the log. The stadium was just empty. Not that I would ever go to that stadium to begin with. Let's take a look at the full conference logs now. We see who's standing where. The Highlanders are, of course, in first place. The Stormers are firmly in second place in the overall rankings. That's pretty good. And they have a game in hand. And of course, this weekend, up against the Lions, we might see a shift in these log positions. The Reds, the Chiefs, the Bulls, the Brumbies, the Sharks, the Hurricanes, the Crusaders. The Lions are lingering down at 10. The Waratahs and the Cheetahs are down at 12, which is a bit strange considering the Cheetahs have been performing rather well. And the Rebels and the Blues and the Force are making up the bottom 3 on the conference logs. Right, it's time for us to take a look at the main sponsor and, of course, official to a supplier to the Club Rugby guys out there and the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. And remember, you as a Club Rugby player, you are entitled to get products directly from Evox. All you need to do is go to the Club Rugby website and click on the sponsorship form there, and you can find out more about getting Club Evox products at reduced rates. The 3 products that we have got for you that is most important is, of course, your recovery product. This is the most important product that you need, folks, is to be able to recover after every training session. Also up for grabs is your meal replacement. This is the one that you want to make sure that you have as your daily protein intake. Extremely important. This is what keeps the muscle packed on, helps you to grow, and also helps you, even if you're not a sportsman or an athlete, and you just want to get through your day a little bit healthier. And you heard Tim Noakes talking about recently the increase of protein. Very important. And how are you going to get protein other than buying expensive chicken and expensive fish? The cheapest, still best, most efficient way is through a decent protein shake. And finally, one of the simplest ways still to put on the muscle is a plain old simple creatine monohydrate. So this is our rugby pack that is up for grabs for you this week. All you need to do is tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers. SMS that number now, 32010. Send the word, the name that I am mentioning here, who it is, to 32010, and that, of course, is all that you need to do. Last week's winner was Morne van Niel. Congratulations to Morne. You win yourself that hamper of Evox products. Rapid Recovery, Mega Grow, and Creatine. It is on its way to you. Evox, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers. SMS your answer now to 32010. And you will send yourself in line to win yourself a kilogram of Rapid Recovery, a kilo of Mega Grow, and 200 grams of creatine, and that will start getting you through the rugby season. It's time now for us to take an ad break, and when we come back from that, we'll of course take a look at what's happening at the Western Province Rugby Institute. Back in a mo. Maybe it was Charles McLeod and Jody. Talking about scrum halves and fly halves and the ability to think ahead of the game to make sure that the game flows smoothly. Certainly that's something that seems to be one of the impact points at club rugby. Jerome, you're the closest in Western Province to club rugby down at the ground level. Don't we have the situation for club rugby players that they try to play TV rugby as opposed to rugby that's relevant or relative to what they should be sticking to the basics at rugby level, club level?
I don't think it's the players, JP. I think the coach the coaches see something on the TV.
Yes, yes.
Blues are doing this line out with that, and then they try it at the practice, but they don't know exactly how it fit in and how you get there. Yeah. And you have to have the personnel to do that. So if you don't have the players.
I'm happy, sorry to interrupt you, but I saw that as a real identification. What I noticed was last year, SK Warmers gave Hamiltons a good hiding at the track. And the Hamiltons came out with TV rugby. They were very structured. All was organized. SK Warmers had no structure whatsoever. But they were running around, passing the ball, almost like a bunch of jackrabbits jumping up. And you couldn't work out a defensive structure for this crazy rugby. And SK Warmers gave Hamilton a pak sla there at the track. But you need to get it more basic than TV rugby, yeah?
Yeah. Like I say, you need to have the players to play what the guys do, and they train it over and over. They've got the guys four times a week to do that, where the club guys are sometimes two times a week where they train, and they don't have all the time to do it and figure out who is going to clean where, who's going to run where. So that's how everything fits in. But you still need to have a bit of structure, and your guys need to know how you want to play. But you can't just go and see, I've seen this move now, Monday night, I'm going to try it at the practice session and expect it to work on Saturday.
My philosophy when it comes to club rugby is let your scrum half do all the work and just make him find a player, run the ball, score tries. Morgs, how important though is it that when you are playing club rugby level, that you as a team, when things start, when maybe things are not going all your way and you have a minute or two during the match to talk to the team, that the team stays composed and doesn't get negative? Because I've watched a few club rugby games, and Mr. H, you might back me up on this because we're close to the field, that all I hear is screaming and shouting and swearing from 15 players at the same time, where the captain is not taking leadership and the players seem to be forgetting what they practiced in the week.
Yeah, I mean, James, look, you probably heard the old cliche of just going back to the basics, and I think a lot of the sides have got that at the moment, at club level particularly, is the fact that you'll often hear about a default play. And when you're in trouble or when the game's not going in the direction that the guys feel, you'll go back to your default play, whether it's playing the forwards up in the middle or whether it's keeping the forwards out wide or bringing your loose forwards in to link with the backs, whatever your default play may be. That's what the coaches always talk about, bringing it back to basics.
Go back to basics.
Yeah, you know, just bring it back to basics, keep the passes as short as possible.
But at a time like that, when it's now time to remind the players to talk about default play, the last thing you need is 5 players in your team screaming it like a bunch of banshees at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, that's where obviously leadership is important when it comes at that level. I mean, leadership is obviously very important. And then you've got to have designated ball carriers, you've got to have designated cleaners, and then that brings the chat, it'll bring the chat down, but it'll bring obviously the sort of the direction of play a little bit more structured, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Strong leadership, Mr. H, important at club rugby level, and we spoke about this, I think, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It's about the captain and the coach being
discipline.
Discipline.
Discipline, that's all it is. The captain says, I speak on the field, you play, keep your mouth shut. End of story.
And it's the captain's job to remind the players what it was that they practiced in the week.
Yeah, of course.
And then get them back into that game mode.
Yeah. Because if you lose track and you start chatting and you know, saying, look at that guy, and you lose complete control of yourself.
Absolutely.
You're not focusing. So.
Well, we've got some youngsters coming through the ranks now. The Western Province Rugby Union has got an institute out in Stellenbosch who are certainly amongst the elite. We managed to catch up and check out the Western Province Rugby Institute out in Stellenbosch, and we thought we'd give you a little bit of a showcase. Check this out.
We're here today at the Stellenbosch Academy of Sport, and we're visiting the Western Province Rugby Institute, the home of the elite under-19 squad that trains here as part of the Western Province Rugby Football Union's structures. It's these young men that will one day hopefully play for Western Province or for the Stormers. And we'll take a look today at the facility here, which is truly state-of-the-art and has got world-class technology, world-class coaching, and world-class facilities. This is the indoor facility, and of course you can see there's rubber and sand that's been laid into the grass, 70 tons of rubber and sand, and what this does is it simulates very close to the real type of rugby experience a player would have on the field. This facility allows players to scrum, sprint, run, etc. in a similar manner to how they would have on a rugby field. And what this does is it really allows the players to practice anytime, rain or shine, indoor. It does allow for the players now to have fantastic analysis in terms of video from different angles. They can measure speed, they can measure distance, and they can look from an overhead shot to see the various running angles that the players have that would then simulate something in game time.
Well, yes, an absolutely fantastic facility. Jerome, I mean, world class, state of the art.
No, it's a great facility, JP, and I think for any youngster, it's I mean, it's a opportunity of a lifetime that you get to go there, and it's sort of almost like a gap year for you. And if you can make it, you can earn big money after that.
I've had some experience in terms of training in certain sports, and back in the day when I was doing it, what we did was train, eat, sleep That's all you did. And it was the only way to get to the highest level. It was train, eat, sleep. And this is basically what those guys do, is they train, they eat, they sleep, and they think rugby all day long.
That's all that they do for a year. And most of them form part of the province under 19 side. And then after that, if they're good enough, they'll get sort of senior contracts. And yeah, the facility, I mean, it's like a hotel. It's similar to a hotel.
I mean, that indoor facility is just absolutely unbelievable. It's got 65 mils of plastic with 70 tons of rubber and sand built into it. And folks, what I didn't show you on that video were the actual cameras. And what they have got is these vertical and horizontal lines. And on top of that, a spidey cam, like you saw in the World Cup, a spidey cam that tracks over the scrums and the runs so that the technical analysts and the video analysts can measure all the details. Morgs, I mean, when you're playing, you play at Springbok level, you play at the Stormers level, all this technical analysis, does it help?
Yes, chaps, I tell you what, the technology that the guys use today really can improve your play. And
yeah.
I mean, I look back now, I look at this facility that the guys have here, and I think to myself, if we had that when we were 19 years old, I mean, I don't want to imagine where guys could be, you know, in terms of just your everything is there, the gym's there, the fields are there. I think of how many times we couldn't train because of the weather outside.
Yes, yeah,
you know?
Back to the basics.
Yeah,
I know you used to practice in the Carlfoot. Mr. H, Peter.
Sorry, I just heard him tell a girl yesterday he's 19.
Peter Jooste is heading up this institute.
Yeah.
He's got Jacques Hanekom and Steph Nell out there from the union point of view. I mean, this is a very exciting project, huh?
Yeah, no, it's the flagship of the union as far as talent is concerned. And if you look at what comes through, it's great. It's great to have a thing like this.
World-class facility, well worth checking it out sometime. And I know that the club coaches have been invited out there to go and look at that facility. In actual fact, I think that might even be this Saturday that the club coaches can go out and have a look and see what's happening out there. Right, it's that time now for you to win yourself a 42-inch plasma screen courtesy of Mesa. All right, a 42-inch plasma screen. All right, for those of you that are jam-packed up on the couch now, those of you that are jam-packed on the couch now, I know that you need a little bit more space in the lounge. So when you have a flat screen plasma, you can put it against the wall and you have a lot more room to move, okay? So there's a lot more space there. 42-inch plasma screen is up for grabs. Mesa is giving away some fantastic prizes. Get your cell phone handy. The number that you need to SMS to is 32010. Of course, Mesa have been fantastically generous with their prizes this season. They are the official IT supplier to Western Province Rugby and the Stormers. One of the prizes that they gave away was, of course, last week, the tablet. All right, so there was a tablet given away, the Mesa Express Slate tablet, and the winner there was Helen Kensley. Congratulations, Helen. You win for yourself that Mesa Express Slate tablet with an Intel Atom processor and all sorts of other goodies and gadgets involved. But nice to have tablets involved in the process right now. Right, folks, it is, of course, now opportunity for you to win that plasma screen, 42 inches, courtesy of Mesa. You need to have a valid TV license, by the way, but I'm sure that if you're watching me right now, you probably do have a valid TV license. After all, it is the right thing to do. Right, let's have a look now at that plasma screen. 42 inches, full HD LCD TV, and got USB ports. It's got a built-in TV tuner, speakers, includes a pedestal. There you see it. The number 32010. All you need to do now is get on that cell phone. Tell me who is the official supplier, IT supplier to the Western Province Rugby team, and you can put yourself in the mix to win that Mesa plasma screen. It's time for us to take an ad break, and when we come back from the ads, we'll take a look at Union on the Spot, where we speak to the union. In this case, it's Mr. Herman Abrams, and we find out what has the union done for the clubs lately, because we make sure, that we don't let them slip through the cracks. The union has to deliver the goods, and it seems to me that at the moment they are delivering the goods. We'll be back with you in a mo. Right, well, the Western Province Rugby Union is on the spot. Mr. H, you guys doing a couple of things for the... you did something over the weekend, actually, for the clubs.
Yeah, we started on Saturday, JP, with a 5-day level 3 first aid course. It's not an ordinary first aid course. You must do 40 hours of training, and you get a certificate at the end to say that you're a first aider of note. So yeah, we had 50 people there. Today they did their second 8 hours, so they need to do 3 more 8-hour sessions, which they will do on Saturday, Sunday, and next Saturday. But that's good. It's going good.
And we managed to catch up with the folks doing that medical course, and let's see what they were up to.
We are here today because we have been asked by the Western Province Rugby. They saw a need in their clubs for trained first aiders to be on the side of the field, and they approached ER24 and asked us whether we will assist them in providing these guys with a proper first aid course, so that they can be able to deal with any emergencies that might arise while they are next to the field at a club rugby game.
Yes, it will help. It will help this for our clubs. It will help for our clubs, even the community, because it's not only do for the rugby, then for the community also, where you get some people that they got injuries like a car accident or short shooting and whatsoever, and stabbing also.
Club rugby, you guys tend to pick up more serious injuries a lot quicker than what you will get from your other guys, simply because they are not as fit. Their bodies are not as well trained as your professional guys.
Mostly in rugby, we are having like serious injuries such as necks, spinal cord, yeah, some of the broken legs. These kind of things are new to us, and it's gonna help us more to prevent some serious injuries from our teammates.
I've done a proximal course, but this one is very advanced. If I can look the detail of this course, it will help me more outside, not on the field, also to help other people outside the community.
Well, Western Province Rugby is quite a big client of ER24, so we have sponsored spinal boards for them. We've given out between 80 and 100 spinal boards to all the different clubs. And we do their events as well, and now we focusing on the training. So they have received money from the lotto, and we've come in to give all the clubs the level 3 first aid training.
Mr. H, in addition to the medical training, which I know is so critically important, and what I found fantastic in that course was that that everybody said to me that they were not just doing it for the rugby, that they would be able to then learn first aid and they could take it back to the community. I mean, you heard things talking there about, which probably most people don't want to hear on TV, and they probably don't want to hear it in the rich man's world, but there's gun shootings and stabbings and car accidents, and for them it was very serious. Yeah. It was a fact that they could take a first aid course and not just use it on the rugby field, but they could use it in real life. The one guy was talking about if he had to deliver a baby. This is a real benefit. I mean, this shows you what sports clubs and why they exist, and that is to serve the community.
Exactly, and that's what we are trying to do at the moment. You know, we're trying to raise the level of club rugby so that people there understand. They're not on a little island there by themselves playing rugby on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They're part of the community, and this is a thing that can greatly assist the community.
Well, it certainly was a fantastic opportunity. The other thing that you've been busy with is the social media and the media and PR course, the seminars that are now happening monthly. You've got more people on Facebook, they're creating their own media. More people on Twitter, they're creating their own media. They're certainly not going to get TV out there like the Super Rugby teams and so on. So club rugby now has the ability to create its own media, because we've seen for far too long that newspapers will not carry club rugby scores, results or fixtures, and we're hoping that that is going to change. But it's great to see the clubs out there turning every rugby match now into possibly a feature, an entertainment opportunity.
Yeah, I think the course or the workshop that we had on Monday night was fascinating in the sense, you know, although it was quite a lengthy workshop, people didn't leave. They were sitting there, and I looked at them. You know, they were fascinated by what was being presented there, and the ability that they, and the empowerment that they sort of get there, when they go back now, they can do a lot of things for the clubs, which wasn't there before.
Yeah.
And I think that is the excitement that is there. They can't wait for the season to start so that they can start doing all these things.
I mean that's really what it is about. It's about turning rugby into more entertainment than just 80 minutes of rugby. It's about bringing people around the field and getting them away from home, giving them some entertainment. Not everyone has the budget to go to fancy movies and holidays. They want to get around the field, have a good time, and enjoy what social rugby is about, which is why I always come back to this thinking about it's not about the money. It's about enjoying the occasion. But the beauty here is getting away from the eventing structure is the fact that they now have an opportunity through the various media platforms to promote their events. And one of those things, folks, actually, one that did come in over the weekend was, or at least came in the last few days, was from Carla from Brackenfell, who certainly didn't waste much time with it. And of course, Brackenfell is got an event this weekend. So they sent us a slide there to show us that they are already busy with their first events that are coming up. And this is Brackenfell's Rugby Club versus the Paarl Rugby Club on the 31st of March at the Brackenfell Sports Gronde. The Stormers in die bulle is op die big screen, so julle sal daarso op 'n big screen kan kyk. Maar Brackenfell is lekker besig daarso. Daar's kindervermaak, springkastele sommer vir die laities. Daar's dans stalletjies, natuurlik is hy sokkie dans, potjie kos kompetisie, spitbraai. Ansel in April, jy moet hoor meneer, was 'n spitbraai daarso, klub rugby prystrekkings en julle kan sommer daarso Werner kontak op 076 050 6807. So dis weer eens Brackenfell Rugby Club teen die Paarl Rugby Club. So there you go, folks. Already has come out. Kraaifontein have also sent us some information about their rugby day on the 31st of March. We'll give you more information on that a little bit later. Check out the Club Rugby website, check out the Cape Rugby TV Facebook site, and we'll keep publicizing that. A little bit later in the show, we'll tell you more about Kraaifontein's Rugby Day, also coming up shortly. So that is how you get your events out there. So they've been coming to social media seminars already. Carla from Brackenfell didn't waste any time promoting through our TV show. So there on the 31st of March, get down to Brackenfell to watch Brackenfell play against the Paarl Rugby Club. It should be great fun. So that's exactly what it is that you want to do, is you want to get to your social media seminars. Mr. H, how important is it for the clubs to come to these seminars? I mean, do they have to come?
You know, when I was sitting there, because I attended it also, the one thing that worried me is the few that's not there, all the ideas that is lost to them. They will never know what is out there for them if they're not there. So they should be there. They should all be there.
Yeah.
Because that is where they will learn what this is. And of course, I'm quite sure that if they want to be helped, like Brackenfell there now, where did you ever have a club advert on TV?
Well, of course, that's what it's about. I mean, it's not easy for us to just put adverts on TV. So you have to come to the seminars. You have to learn about how to do all this stuff, how to create databases, how to learn how to do newsletters, and how to send us to the show the content that you want us to advertise in the right format. So if you're not at the seminars, you're not going to know how to do it. And if you're not at the seminars, I won't be putting it on the show. So you have to make sure that you've got your media public relations person from your club, geeks and nerds, as we like to call ourselves now, at the seminars. Very important. If you're at the seminar, you get access. Not at the seminar, no access. Right, that's the kind of thing. In actual fact, Morgs, I won't say it. I know you're thinking I'm going to go south now with my level of discussion, but I won't. Right, what I am going to do is I'm going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a night of accommodation, courtesy of Leisure Hotels. Leisure Hotels, one of our kind supporters and sponsors. And all you need to do is SMS the word leisure to 32010, and you could win yourself a night of accommodation and with bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. Last week's winner was Sunel Engelbrecht. So congratulations to Sunel. You win yourself one night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. Now, if you want to stand yourself a chance to win, then all you need to do is SMS the word leisure to 32010. And you could put yourself in the mix for a night of accommodation. And that's it. Leisure Hotels, of course, one of our friendly suppliers here on the Cape Rugby TV show. And I know that they've been a keen supporter of the Western Province Sports Council as well. Right, it is, of course, in addition to all of these club rugby events that are happening out there, there are a host of friendlies happening this weekend. Friendlies where the clubs are playing against each other. Let's take a look at some of those friendlies. Belleville South is up against Belleville. Belleville is up against Villages at Belleville South. Hamlets takes on Hands and Hearts at Mumray. Helderberg take on False Bay at Morkel Stadium in Somerset West, and Hamilton's take on Durbell at the Stefan Oval. Of course, that's at Hamilton as well. And the big one over the weekend, City Park celebrating 50 years as a sports venue, and the Vodacom Cup match also taking place this weekend at City Park on Saturday at 4 o'clock, and Cape Town TV will be there. Mr. H, City Park hosting the Vodacom Cup, Western Province Vodacom Cup team against East Province Kings. But there's clearly a bit of history behind this event.
Yeah, JP, City Park was the only venue in pre-Unity days that were owned by the sports clubs. The rugby clubs owned the venue. It's not the municipal ground like all the other grounds. And they have, because they owned it, they could, sort of hire it out for anything.
Yeah.
Mass funerals, mass rallies. It was like a political hub in the 70s and 80s. And I remember at one stage there was the security forces invaded the whole area because they wanted to have a carols by candlelight on the 16th of December.
Yeah.
But it was actually a UDF sort of
rally.
And they parked the whole place full with Caspers and everything. So yeah, there's a big,
so this is 50 years of playing at City Park since you were moved because of the Group Areas Act and apartheid and all this kind of, and all those terrible atrocities, which clearly has had such a big impact on club rugby.
Yep.
Or if nothing else, I mean, had the biggest impact on club rugby. And club rugby could have been a completely different scenario today if it wasn't for those atrocities that took place in those years.
Absolutely.
And of course, folks, what we are doing is we're highlighting some of the history. We're not going to shy away from that. We're going to make people remember those days. And that's what this Cape Rugby TV show is about, is bringing Cape Rugby or club rugby back to life. Well, not back to life, but just showing the life of club rugby out there. It is back to life. It's been at life for a long time, but nice to give it publicity. I did say that I would mention earlier on the Untitled Rugby Day. That is, of course, at Kraaifontein on the 31st of March. Another event that you want to get down to. Of course, there's a number of teams out there playing on the day. Kraaifontein, Durbell, SK Warmers, Rawsonville is playing, Van der Stel is playing, Belleville is playing, SK Warmers is playing. We'll tell you more about that on our social media pages. So, of course, Kraaifontein out there as well, and putting it out and creating events. Yes, more sponsors on board, of course. If you've got rugby fields out there and you need white line markers, it's time for your white line marker of choice. It's now time for White Line Fever, courtesy of Colortone Paints. And if you want to win yourself a Colortone hamper, courtesy of Colortone Paints, all you need to do is SMS the word Colortone to 32010, and you can put yourself in the mix to win yourself a hamper. Last week's winner was Kraaifontein. Just SMS the word Colortone to 32010. Colortone Paints, White Line Fever, your white line field marker of choice. That is it. You can get your Colortone points at Colortone Paints at your nearest hardware store, wherever you reside. Let's take a look at the Stormers team to take on the Lions this weekend. It's going to be a cracker of a match, but my money's on the Stormers in a big way. Yes, Joe Peterson makes it back at fullback. It is Gio Plon, John de Jong, and Jean de Villiers. This is pretty much exactly an unchanged team. Brian Banner, Peter Grant, Dewald Devenage, Nick Costa is at 8-man, Dwayne van Meeren, Sia Kolisi, Andries Becker, Eben Etzebeth, Brock Harris, Tian Liebenberg, Stephen Kitsoff. On the bench is Skaran Tebene, Frans Malherbe, De Kok Steenkamp, Nizam Kar, Louis Schreuder, Gary van Asvelgen, and Gerard van der Heever. Kickoff is on Saturday, 7:10. That's at Ellis Park, and the referee is Glenn Jackson. Gentlemen, it is time for us to go into Super Brew prediction time. Let's quickly take a look at the rankings. All right, I'm not going to go too far down the rankings. Well, There you go. There they are. Lundy stays at number 1. Milky 009 gets the yellow cap for great performance this week. She moves up 8% if it's a she. Vern is in 3rd place, also level on the same amount of points. Ben de Beer. Mr. H, the incredible Mr. H, comes up 4 places into 5th position. Streep Boy moves up 1 place into 6th. Mr. T comes up 4 places into 7th place. Coming up 5 spots into 8th position is Krusty. Cylon jumps by 9 into 9th position. And in 10, I happen to be bringing up the 10th place after my initial fantastic performance, and then crashing and going down like a bad aeroplane. And of course, now I managed to get a few points right at the very end. But now it is time for us to make those Super Brew predictions. Let's take a look at the weekend's fixtures then. Weekend's fixtures, the Blues versus the Hurricanes. It's the Rebels and the Force. And the Waratahs take on the Sharks in Sydney. The Crusaders and the Cheetahs. The Brumbies and the Highlanders in Canberra. It's the Bulls and the Reds in Pretoria. And the Lions take on the Stormers in Johannesburg over the weekend. That's your last game and your big game over the weekend. Right, time for predictions then. Morgan, you keep moaning that I asked you first of the predictions. Folks, incidentally, we just had a look at the top 10. We didn't delve down below that, all right? If you want to see where the rest of the panel is, you're going to have to go to superbrew.com and look for the Cape Rugby TV show. Remember, if you are on Superbrew, you can still join the panel. You can join as many as 5 different pools. So a good opportunity to just jump in and have some fun with you. But if you want to see the rankings of the rest of the people out there that are not in the top 10, then you're going to have to go to the website, okay? You can also do it on your mobile phone, all right? It's very easy to get on the mobile phone. You can get Super Brew. But hang on, before we do this, let me quickly, in actual fact, we'll wrap up with the Facebook and Twitter questions towards the end of the show. Let's take a look then at the predictions. Mr. H, should we start with you? Blues and Hurricanes?
Hurricanes by 6.
Hurricanes by 6. Jerome?
Blues by 8.
Blues by 8.
Jeff, I'm worried that I'm closer to Jerome than I am to Mr.
Will you make up your mind, please?
Because 7.
Blues by 7, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, have you remembered your scores?
They want to stay in the bottom.
I'm going to go for the Blues by 9. I actually think that the Blues just had a bit of a rough ride. The Hurricanes, I'm not convinced that they are back up there. Of course, it's the Rebels up against the Force. I'll give my pick first so the rest of the panel don't complain too much about it. I'm going to go Force by 11. Mr. H?
Rebels by 3.
Woo. Jerome?
JP, I just want to ask you, is my scores going in?
Yes, your scores are going in because you Look, the way the system works is even if you don't put your scores in, Super Brew does a prediction for you. So really? It's like a default prediction. I think that's
must be that's what happened.
Jerome, your prediction. Force
by 7.
Force by 7. Morgs.
I'm going Force 5, JP.
By 5?
Yes, Force by 5.
I thought you said Force by JP. Right, I'm going to go for Waratahs over the Sharks. I'm going to go for Waratahs by 8. Mr. H?
Sharks 7.
Sharks by 7. Right, Jerome.
Waratahs by 3.
Waratahs by 3. Morgs.
Sharks 9.
Sharks by 9, eh? Okay, I must say. Right, the Waratahs have named a full squad there to take on the Sharks. A couple of changes for them, gentlemen, in case you don't know this. Wycliffe Palu is back.
Stop making me doubt my prediction.
Right. I said that I mean, I would have loved to go with the Sharks on this one, but I did say that the Waratahs would win this. Why? Because I think the Waratahs are going to make a bit of a comeback. The Sharks are having tremendous injury problems. Their front row is just about gone. And Palu makes it back for the Waratahs. You must do your homework before you do your predictions. Crusaders and the Cheetahs, Mr. H.
Crusaders by 8.
Crusaders by 8, Jerome.
Crusaders by 12.
Crusaders by 12. Morgs.
Yeah, James, I love the Cheetahs. I'm going Crusaders by 15.
Right, I'm going Crusaders by 18, and I'm going for that because I've got a feeling that they have up and down, up and down. Anyway, I'm going to go Crusaders by 18. That's my prediction there. Brumbies and the Highlanders, Morgs.
I went Highlanders by 9.
You went Highlanders by 9, Jerome?
No, I'll go Canberra stuff, so I'll go Brumbies by 9.
Brumbies by 9. You think Eddie Jones is going to make a difference coming back to Jake White?
I definitely think so.
You definitely think so? You don't think that it's a little bit too soon and it's going to be upside down and chaotic? All right.
Highlanders 9.
Highlanders by 9, and I'm going to go for Highlanders by 6. I believe that coaching structures changing and things like that. As clever as Eddie Jones might be, I don't believe that they're going to have much success there. The next match is the Bulls up against the Reds. They're playing in Pretoria over the weekend. The Bulls and the Reds, Morgs.
James, Bulls after a bye, Bulls by 13.
Bulls by 13. Jerome.
I think if DK Ione was playing, I would have gone for them, but he's not, so I'll go Bulls by 6.
You're going to go Bulls by 6, Mr. H?
Reds 5.
You're going to go Reds 5. That's a big call, Mr. H. I'm going to go Bulls by 9. Francois Hoogaard is back. So is Sadi. He is also back. Hoogaard replaces Janne Vermaak, who moves to the bench, and Sadi replaces Francois Venter. They can only do better if they've got Hoogaard there. And if we look at the performance of last week, I think the Bulls at home, Loftus, Reds, not really going to do so well in the Highveld. Going to have to see how they perform. I'm going to stick to my prediction. I'm going to go Bulls by 9. And then it's the Lions up against the Stormers. Of course, I nailed the Stormers prediction. Thank the heavens above. Otherwise, I would not be anywhere near that 10. I would be closer to Jerome and Morgs on that league ranking. I will, would you like, gentlemen, anyone like to go first on this one?
Stormers 10.
Stormers 10? Yeah, Jerome?
With all the Lions injuries, they've got 10 injuries, so I'm close to Stormers 20, but I'll go Stormers 14.
The Lions do have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, 10.
10 injuries in the Lions.
Guys.
John Mitchell says that this is the worst run of injuries he's ever had at the Lions.
For 16 years of coaching, it is. It's for this time of the season.
Yeah.
So maybe they must fire their conditioning coach. He's a very good conditioning guy, but something's wrong.
It's out there. It's out there now. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. They should fire him, but he's got a very good conditioning coach. It's too late now. Okay. Morgs, Lions and Stormers.
I said Stormers by 12.
Stormers by 12. I'm going to go for Stormers by 14. Stormers have fielded an unchanged team. Look at what they did against the Blues. I honestly believe that the confidence in the Stormers team is right up there at the moment, and that we certainly should see a fantastic result. What is it, if we look at the time frame here now, Jerome, we're like 5 games into the season. This is now, what are we, round 5, I think?
Yeah.
Round 5. It's about this time of the year that they start settling in a little bit, eh?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why it's for me, the amount of injuries that the Lions have at this time, it's the first time that in this competition that happened. Stormers on the other side is very fortunate. I mean, it's a third game in a row with the unchanged team. So it's about how you manage your guys and things. So I think they're doing pretty well there. And also the rest of the other guys, the other teams losing guys is off the ball stuff, it's sighted and things like that, so they're out. So yeah, I think the teams are pretty much on par with where they need to be.
Did any of you guys go for Hurricanes? No one went for Hurricanes?
Yeah.
You went for Hurricanes. You aware of the fact that Piri Whoop is playing at fly-off this week?
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The Blues is useless.
Did anybody ever think about asking Piri Whoop to go on a diet? Because it's like, honestly...
Just for the Blues, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. He's playing fly-off for the Blues.
Really?
But that's also out now on YouTube and everything. Exactly.
That's also out there, that's right.
That's where the Hurricanes are going to be.
So you won't get an interview.
It's been out there for about 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
in actual fact, his mother himself says that Piri Weeper was the runt of the litter. I quote. Sorry, Piri. Mom said it, I didn't say it. An incredible amount of fans for the Blues over the weekend, of course. And then the other thing is that Conrad Smith is back for the Hurricanes. So that's, Mr. H, might be your trump card. Conrad Smith is a superstar. He says it's going to be a little bit weird playing against some of his old teammates, but Conrad Smith out there might swing it in your direction.
I know that.
Yeah. Morgan, have a fantastic rugby week. We hope you stay fit and healthy, and we look forward to seeing you in action.
Yes, thanks, James. Looking forward to the season. Just can't wait for it to start now.
Jerome, all the clubs action coming up. You've got more lectures coming up for the coaches over the next couple of days?
Yeah, after Easter we start again with we had the coaches and the refs in last week. So yeah, after Easter we're going to do something similar again.
And Mr. H, big week at City Park.
Yes, and you know,
Saturday.
I'd like to invite all those guys that play there. Even Peter de Villiers, he played rugby there.
Really?
In the top 8 and you know things like that they had, and they all will be there. So.
So there you go, folks. We are at City Park, Cape Rugby TV. We will be filming out there over the weekend. Join us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, or on Twitter @Cape Rugby TV. See you next week, Wednesday, same time, same place. Have a great rugby weekend. Bye-bye.